with the third chapter from your economics book of grade 9, and the name of the chapter is an economy, its sectors, basic concepts and entities. And today we are going to start from saving. What is the definition of saving? Saving is defined as income minus consumption. In simple words, we can say the person, no matter any individual is earning a certain amount of money, suppose rupees 1000, that person is not going to spend the total income that person is doing. Okay, maximum of the individuals will try to save some amount of money from his or her earning. So income minus expenditure, the amount of money that person is keeping aside is not spending, is keeping aside, that is called saving. Next term is saving and savings. Saving means when we are saving some money and keeping it aside, that is called saving. And when for past few years the amount we have saved already, when we accumulate it, when we add it together, we are saying savings. Next important term is economy. What is the meaning of the term economy? Basically, we feel that the term economy in the sense is used or using as the available resources in such a way that saves money or minimizes wastage of money. This is called economy, but in economics, in the sense of economics, we are going to say it's something different, and that is an specific collection of interrelated, marketed and non-marketed productive activities in any particular country of a region is known as economy. What does this mean? A typical economy consists of thousands and thousands of markets. Okay, when goods and services are produced particularly for self-consumption, that is not sold in the market for exchange of money, then we are saying it is a non-marketed products. Non-marketed products. So what was the definition? The definition was an specified collection of interrelated, marketed and non-marketed productive activities in any particular country or a region. Okay, come to the next page. We'll try to understand this much better. An economy consists not only a interrelation or interrelated markets for produced goods and services, but also of many non-marketed activities. The interrelated markets of different countries of the world are called world economy. So basically we can say that an economy actually refers to a cluster of institutional arrangements which establish a relationship between the marketed and non-marketed productive activities of any country or a region. You can see a diagram given here, a flowchart given here. What is an economy? You can see at the left hand side there is written economy. So economy is having two different kind of activities. One is the marketed activities, other is the non-marketed activities. What are the marketed activities? Marketed activities are the agricultural goods market, industrial goods market, service good market. So marketed productive activities are agricultural, industrial or service. Non-economic or non-marketed activities, productive activities are like the public services. They are not doing anything for profit. Then service from the charitable organizations, that those are also not doing for any kind of profit. Then production for self consumption. If a farmer is producing something for self consumption and not to be sold in the market, that is self consumption product. Okay, so all the three things you can see, these are the non marketed productive activities. So again we will read the definition. And specified collection of interrelated marketed and non-marketed productive activities in any particular country of the region. So we can say it is a cluster. Okay, economy means the relationship between the marketed and non-marketed productive activities of a country, in simple. Next, basic economic entities. There are three economic entities basically in every country. Okay, the consumers, the producers, and the government. Okay, so why are they called the basic economic agents? They are called the basic economic agents in an economy because they perform the basic economic activities to produce and to consume. Both the roles are done by them. Okay, so let us understand this. The producers or the farms produce different types of commodities with the help of different factors of production. They sell these commodities to different consumers or households. In this way, an exchange relationship is established between the farms and the households. Okay, some you can say there are some goods and services also which is not provided by the private farms, that is provided by the government, and it is nothing to do with the profit making. Okay, so the activities of these economic agents and the trade relation with the foreign countries also give rise to foreign sector in an economy. What is a farm? Farm is a production unit. Okay, farm is a production unit. They collect different factors of production and produce different types of commodities. Okay, they are producing different kind of commodities and they are collecting different kinds of factor of production. From where they are getting this factor of production? They are taking from the household. Okay, they produce and sell different products in exchange of product prices. They purchase different factors of production. They purchase these factors by paying factor prices to the owners of these factor services. Thus, the farm create a supply for different products in the market. So farm is making a commodity and creating a supply in the market. And what is the farm demanding? The farm is demanding for different factors of production from the household. This is the exchange relationship between the farm and the household. Okay, the sector that consists of the activities of this farm owned particularly by the private sector entrepreneurs or organizations is called the farm sector. Okay, so you understood about the farm. Next we are coming to the household. The households are the consumers. They are not producing. Okay, they are consuming. They are again having two different kind of role. They purchase different consumer goods for their own consumption and pay price to the consumer good for this consumer good. This means whatever the farm is making and selling, the household is buying. They are just consuming it, using it. They are also the owners of different factors of production. They sell these factors to the farms. Okay, so they are selling their factors of production to the farm, and the farm is selling the products or the goods or the services to the households. The household create demand for various products and also create supply to different factors of production. This sector that consists of the activities of these households is considered as the household sector. You can see a diagram given here. Just now I was talking about the exchange relationship between the households and the farms. Right? This is the same thing showing here. The household purchases various commodities produced and sold by the farms. They pay prices for purchasing the commodities. So the expenditure of the household would rise as the income of the farm. Clear? Right? So as the household is buying some product which is sold by the farm, In other words, we can say that it is rising the income of the farms. The farm purchases different services from the household and pay prices for purchasing these factor services. Thus, the expenditure incurred by the farms would arise as an income of the household. So, as the farm, in order to make any good or service, is hiring the factor of production from the household. And as they are hiring, the farm have to pay for these factors of production. As they are paying for these factors, that is becoming the income of the household. This leads to a circular flow of income and expenditure in the society. Okay, next we are having the government, an economic agent. The government imposes tax on income and various other commodities. Thus, government earns tax revenue, right? The government spends this revenue on both consumption and investment goods. Consumption goods means the goods which is bought by the government and which is used for consumption purpose. For example, we can say food grains, okay, and clothes also, shoes, guns, all these are used by our military force. These are called the consumption expenditure. And we are having investment expenditure. Investment expenditure means the investment which is done by the government in order to earn something, like for example railways, bridges, highways, dams, power plants. Okay, all these are coming under the investment expenditure. The sector that consists the activities of the government of a country can be considered as the government sector or the public sector. Activities of the government as an economic agent. First is the government supplies different public goods like defense service, okay, defense service and all in an economy. The government makes consumption expenditure. I told you different kind of food grains and cloth and guns, all these are being bought by the government. The government makes investment expenditure. This also I have explained you. The government regulates the total supply of money. That is the only, we can say, factor which is circulating money throughout the country. The government provides primary health and education facilities to the common people. The government also frames different kind of economic policies. The foreign sector. The foreign sector that represents the trade or exchange relationship with the foreign countries is considered as foreign sector. When the household sector, the farm sector and the government sector produces something exportable good and service and create demand for several importable items, okay, then this export import relation with the foreign countries, several foreign countries, or you can say with the several foreign sectors develops. So basically, what are the things that is needed to develop a relationship with the foreign sector? Export oriented industries or industrial units, exportable quality items are needed in the country. The importers are also needed. We also need somebody to import. Not only our country will be exporting, okay, our country needs to import few things also. That will also enhance the relationship with different kind of country. Then you can say the foreign investors, those who are ready to invest in our country. The domestic investors who are ready to invest in the foreign countries, those are also important. And above all, we need to say that the government authorities who regulate both the flow of goods and services as well as the flow of foreign currencies or foreign capital within the country, that plays a very important role. Hopefully you understood the chapter. Thank you.